Hi, I'm Jilly G. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you chocolate truffles. I'm going to show you two different kinds, which are also two different kinds. One will be with heavy cream and two different kinds of chocolate, and then the other one will be with coconut cream and two different kinds of chocolate. Before we get started on the recipe, I just want to remind everybody to submit your questions. We have a few more days to keep going, and you can do that here in the comment section below, or you can ask me on Instagram. Again, I'll do my best to answer those questions, but keep those coming. And I've gotten some good ones so far. And thank you so much for everybody that has become a patron. It's so amazing to me that you guys are willing to support me. Thank you so much. I so appreciate it. Or I mentioned a couple of videos ago, if you're curious or interested about becoming a patron, the link is below. There's other content on there that you won't see here. And my cookbook is coming soon. It's in the final stages. I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited to show you when it's finally ready. So look forward to that. But thank you so much for everybody that is watching my videos and comments on my videos. So many amazing stories I'm hearing, and I'm getting suggestions for recipes, and I'm excited to try those and share those with you very soon. So coming soon. If you've asked me about a recipe or have given me a recipe, watch for those coming very soon. Valentine's Day is coming up, and it's always nice to have little treats. And these are so fast and so easy. And there's a regular version and then a dairy-free, which is coconut. Or if you're not dairy-free, if you love coconut. I love coconut. So right here I've got 1 cup of heavy cream. I've got some honey and some butter and some vanilla, but we won't use the vanilla yet. We're going to heat this up in a saucepan and then essentially make a chocolate ganache. So 1 cup of heavy cream. And then I've got 4 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons, which is 1/8 of a cup of honey. And as always, I'll give you the equivalents to sugar. And I'm going to turn that on about medium heat. And we just want the butter to melt, the honey to dissolve, and we want it to come up to a simmer, not quite a boil. And I've got 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips and 1 cup of dark chocolate chips. And 2 tablespoons of vanilla. You could do this in a smaller batch and just half everything. The honey will add a little bit of sweetness. If you're using white chocolate chips or milk chocolate chips, sometimes they're a little softer and they're a little bit harder to work with. Where the semi-sweet and dark chocolate, they harden up a little bit better. So these are ready to go. As soon as this is up to a simmer, we're going to pour it onto our chocolate. And then I'll do the same thing with the coconut milk. And this is the full-fat coconut cream. So we don't need to add any butter because it already has oil in it. This doesn't need to be stirred continuously, but you can. Just make sure the honey is dissolved and your butter is melting. Once this is up to a simmer and it's just starting to boil, just give it a good stir. And I'm going to eyeball half of this mixture into each bowl. And if your chocolate chips are at room temperature, they'll melt a little bit faster. And even though it looks like chunky chocolate milk, just keep stirring. It will all come together. Keep stirring until it starts to come together and look really smooth and shiny. And I'm going to go half vanilla in one and in the other one. Make sure the vanilla is stirred in really good. Got some plastic wrap here, but I want to scrape my spoons off. You could put it in the fridge with the spoon in there, but it makes it a little challenging to work around. And it's okay. if the semi-sweet chocolate gets into the dark chocolate. So cover these with plastic wrap. They'll go in the fridge. They're not super warm. They set up actually pretty quick, but you want it to be firm enough that we can scoop a little bit out and roll it into balls. So even if the outside seems firm enough, sometimes the center is not. So into the fridge with our first batch, and then we'll make our coconut cream version. I've got the same equivalents. 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips and 1 cup of dark chocolate chips, 2 tablespoons of vanilla, and then 1 can of full-fat coconut cream. And when you open the can, it's kind of separated, kind of the liquids from the solids. And I found that a butter knife is the easiest thing to kind of give it all a really good stir. You might have enough leftover coconut cream to do a third, but we'll see. And I'm going to do the same thing. Heat this up. Turn the heat on to medium, and you want this to come up to a simmer so it's hot enough to melt the chocolate. Once your coconut cream is up to a simmer, I'm going to pour it into my measuring cup and measure out 1 cup. Just measure in 1/2 cup of your coconut cream to each bowl. I'm going to let those sit for a minute and see how much I have left. And it looks like I could do another kind of chocolate. But let that heat melt your chocolate and just start stirring. If you like coconut, these are the perfect treat. You could do this over a double boiler, but it works so well just melting the chocolate this way. And then we're going to do the same thing. I've got some plastic wrap ready, except I forgot my vanilla. So 1 tablespoon of vanilla in each one. And that's about half of this little container here. And just give it a really good stir. Have it sitting right there and I forget all about it. And you could do whatever extract flavor that you like. For these ones, if you want a really coconutty flavor, add in some coconut extract. For the other regular chocolate ones, you could do cherry extract or orange extract, almond extract. Really, if you have a flavor that you like, use that. I just like the vanilla. You could do peppermint and make these peppermint truffles. You could do a coffee extract and make kind of a mocha flavored truffle. And once again, I'm mixing my chocolates together and that is just fine. And I've made a mess. And because they look the exact same and they are in the same kind of bowls that my other one is in, I'm going to show you an easy way to keep them separate. Just get yourself a marker and I'm just going to write a C on each one. Then I know for sure they're the coconut ones. And then you can keep them separate. And then I'll do the same thing when we're ready to roll them out. I'll have a little separate process to keep them separate so you know which flavors are which. Especially if you're trying to avoid dairy, you would hate for somebody to get the wrong one. So these will go in the fridge also for about an hour, we'll see. I have just over 1/2 cup of coconut cream left. And I have some white chocolate chips. I added a little bit more chocolate chips to make up for the little bit extra of coconut cream. I was just going to show you 2 different kinds today, but now we'll go for a third. And same as the other ones, just stir until it's all melted and combined. Stir in your vanilla. And I said these were white chocolate chips. I don't know how much actual chocolate is in them. They're the vanilla milk chips, which I think are made with cocoa butter. So once you've got that all mixed in, we'll cover this with plastic wrap and it will go in the fridge with our other ones. So my chocolate mixture has been in the fridge for about an hour. And this is just the regular first batch that we did with regular heavy cream. The coconut batch is taking a little bit longer to firm up. So it's still in the fridge, but we can get started on these. And if at any time you notice that it's getting too soft, it can just go right back in the fridge. And you can also do this the day before. They look really good though. I've got some cookie sheets here lined with parchment paper. When I'm ready for my coconut truffles, I put a C, I don't know if you can see that, I put a C on my parchment paper as well. That way you can keep them separated if you need to, and so you know which ones are which. And then I have a little cookie scoop here. It's about a teaspoon is the amount that will fit in here, give or take a little bit. And if you don't have a cookie scoop, you can just use a small spoon, and you can really make these as big as you want. But they're kind of rich, and so I tend to go on the smaller side. And then I've got some really finely chopped pecans that I toasted and chopped. And then I've got some pretty finely chopped coconut, and this is unsweetened coconut, and then just some cocoa powder. You can roll these in sprinkles or a different kind of nut, powdered sugar. So I'll do a couple of each and show you what they look like. And this one is the dark chocolate. I'm rolling this first one into some coconut and then straight onto our parchment paper. You can wash your cookie scoop in between, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna scoop them out. And you can see the semi-sweet chocolate one is a lot softer. I'm just gonna put it here on my cookie sheet, and then we can stick this whole tray back into the fridge and firm up a little bit more. It looks like firm chocolate pudding is the semi-sweet chocolate one. And I'm just going around the outside where it's a little firmer. And you could just put this whole little scoop into your topping. It's a really good hand workout. Just toss it around. Get coated in whatever topping you want. Dark chocolate with cocoa powder. That one will be extra chocolatey. And a fork might even be better than a spoon. Ooh. Kind of fun though. And messy. I'm going to keep going, making my little truffles. And the funny thing is, you look at this small amount and you think that's not going to be enough. That's not very much at all. But then when you start scooping them out, you realize how many you actually have. If you wanted to, you could dip these in chocolate. You could dip them in milk chocolate or white chocolate, whatever. You could dip these in white chocolate that is tinted pink or red, and that would make it fun for the Valentine holiday. Once they sit out, or once you start eating them, they really do melt in your mouth and your hands. And I'll probably need more cookie sheets. My dark chocolate truffles are a little bit firmer than my semi-sweet. I'm gonna coat the dark chocolate truffles that I have in their topping and get them set on this cookie sheet and put it in the fridge. And then I can put in the semi-sweet ones in the fridge and roll those after they're a little bit firmer. But I've just got my chopped pecans, and you just gently toss it in there. You don't even have to make sure it's in a full circle. You don't have to roll it between your hands. Tossing it in your coating will do that for you. And it really doesn't take much at all. And it really doesn't take much to make a mess. Very messy, but so much fun. I'm going to keep going with these, and then when the coconut truffles are ready to roll or scoop out, I'll show you those. I put my coconut ones in the freezer just to help them firm up a little bit quicker. And I washed off my cookie scoop. And you'll notice these ones are a lot softer. But easier to manage once you toss it in a coating. And it looks like I'll need some more toppings. But I'm just going to keep going with my 2 chocolate versions, and then we'll do the white chocolate or vanilla. Vanilla chocolate, whatever it actually is. I keep spilling coconut into my truffle mixture. That's all right. It's a very simple recipe, but it takes all day. Well, it's taking me all day because I decided to do all of these different kinds to show you. But I've got both of my coconut, dark chocolate and the semi-sweet chocolate, and then I labeled it for dark and semi-sweet. But that's about how many you get out of one batch. And then my other ones are in the fridge. And now here is my white chocolate, which even though I've had it in the freezer, and I was concerned that this would happen because white chocolate or the vanilla chips is a lot softer than the other chocolate. And it's really not going to scoop at all. It's going to be just a liquidy mess. It's really not holding together at all. But I wonder, let's take a little bit and see if it will hold a shape around a topping. Probably not, but let's try it. And really not very good at all. That didn't work. And maybe this won't harden up. We'll see. I'm going to keep it in the fridge for a lot longer. I won't put you through the torture of waiting for this to firm up. So we'll see what I can figure out with this one. I might leave it in the fridge or the freezer overnight, see if I can get it to hold its shape. Even sitting right here on the counter, it's starting to melt a little bit. So here is all of these different ways of doing truffles, but they look really good. And that's quite a lot. You know, if you have quite a few people that you'd like to share these with. Oh, you can get these in the baking section of sometimes grocery stores or a craft and hobby store. But they're little tiny cupcake liners. And they fit in a mini cupcake pan, which is perfect, but they are also perfect for little candies. And then if you have a platter that you put them on, and then people can just come along and pick one up. So my Aunt Ethel, which is my grandpa's aunt, she used to make her own candies. And anytime somebody got a box of chocolates from the store, we would save the boxes for her. And then she would put all of her homemade candies in the candy boxes. But nowadays, if you go to the dollar store or again a craft and hobby store, you could get a little candy box and put your own little candies in them. Maybe for this holiday, you could get a little heart-shaped box. But they sure look pretty cute. And so much fun. And when you touch cocoa powder and you touch something else, it gets covered in cocoa powder. I'm going to try one of my coconut ones. See how much coconut flavor comes through. Really good. And you know, surprisingly, not a lot of coconut flavor is coming through from the coconut cream. But let me have a comparison here. It's so interesting how much sweeter a semi-sweet chocolate is than dark chocolate. You don't notice until you have them side by side, but the semi-sweet chocolate ones are pretty sweet. And maybe it's because I don't have sugar. My taste buds are ruined. But they're really good. And even though they're holding their shape and they're pretty firm, especially these ones, you know, they're really firm. They just melt in your mouth. Such a fun little Valentine's treat. And they last for quite a while in the fridge. I have made a mess with cocoa powder all over everything. I will let you know what happens with this. Maybe nothing will happen with this. Maybe I'll just have to make ice cream topping or something. I'll figure something out to do with that. I'll put a picture on Instagram or I'll put a picture on here and let you know what I end up doing with that one. But truffles, they work really good with the coconut cream and with the regular heavy cream. Two different choices that work the exact same. Same equivalents and everything, but a really good candy.
All right, now which one is what?
They're all chocolate. Dark chocolate or semi-sweet, and I don't remember which ones are which.
Fine cook you are.
Well,
These are my chocolate truffles, and this is Grandma's birthday.
This is
Coconut.
Okay.
Oh.
That takes the bite out of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell
That
me.
is delicious.
Oh, I'm so glad you like it.
This is the one with nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is good. This is delicious.
Very good.
You like it? Oh, good.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Now I've got somebody else that wants to have some
You
truffles.
want to take an order?
I'll take an order.
Jilly, you're on camera.
Are you ready?
I know.
This is a taste test.
Chocolate truffles.
One of these has laxative in it.
That is not true.
You have to figure out which one it is.
I don't want to figure out which ones don't have the laxative in it.
These are
These are delicious.
chocolate truffles. Oh yeah.
Nice.
What do you guys think of my truffles?
Wow.
They're really good.
Yeah, you want some more?
Wow. I will eat
Gooey
those.
chocolate drop of goodness.
Well, they're a hit. Everyone loves them.
They are delicious.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.